headlines. Arewa Youth Forum asks President Buhari to resign. Navy intercepts truckload of smuggled rice in Akwa Ibom. War Against Indiscipline Brigade inaugurated. Welcome to the news on the hour on Television Nigerian. I am Cynthia Agbo. The Arewa Consultative Forum has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to resign. National President of the group, Shatima Yerima, said that age and health concern is limiting the president's performance in office. In an interview with a national daily, the AYCF leader lambasted the president for failing in security and employment, stressing that the country is suffering from the president's poor performance. He further accused the government of not living up to its promises to Nigerians. Shatima Yerima insisted the Nigerians have lost confidence in the government. The Nigerian Navy in Ikot Abasi has intercepted 2 truckloads of rice smuggled into the country. In this report, correspondent Peace Israel says that the Navy Authority also arrested 4 suspects linked with the incident. Her report.
The commander, NNA Jubilee, Ikot Abasi, Commodore Ayerinade Akinwale, has warned smugglers to stay off Nigeria maritime environment. He says that defaulters will be made to face the full weight of the law. Commodore Ayerinade Akinwale gave the warning when the command intercepted 4 trucks loaded with 1,050 bags of rice allegedly smuggled from a neighboring country.
We are here today to hand over the consignment to the customs for further investigations and possible prosecution. And again, I must add that 3 suspects were apprehended along with the trucks of rice too.
The Assistant Controller of Customs, Babatunde Lomo, asked for more interagency collaboration to check the activities of the smugglers. He congratulated the Nigerian Navy for the vigilance which led to the interception of the goods.
The essence of synergy and collaboration, interagency collaboration, is to meet issues like this in the border. So we are very pleased with the efforts of the Nigerian Navy.
The suspects were formally handed over to the customs for further investigation. Peace Israel reporting for TVN News.
As part of government's commitment to rid the country of corruption and ensure discipline, especially in government activities, a group, the War Against Indiscipline Brigade, has been inaugurated in Abuja. Our correspondent tells us more.
32 years after creation and eventual proscription, the War Against Indiscipline Brigade is back in national discourse. Adorned in all green color, men and officers of the brigade converged on Abuja for a workshop aimed at curtailing indiscipline in the country. This time, the group is poised to begin a national reorientation campaign.
Ready for your inspection, sir!
Major General Martins Chukwunedum of Defense Intelligence Agency inspected the guard of honor and gave a nod for dismissal.
Conflicts are better prevented than...
For key players, it is possible to have a better Nigeria.
The country is preparing to deal with particularistic security problems in the country. Kidnapping, for ransom, armed robbery, political thuggery, farmers' others clashes, community clashes, cultist activities among our younger people in high schools. All of this cumulatively puts the country under intense security inertia, which necessitates that all hands must be on deck.
National Commandant of the group, Mohammed Mustafa, told newsmen that the organization can do more with better support from stakeholders.
We need mobility at all levels to support our command and our brigade so that the effort we're making in sustaining this Change Begin With Me campaign and the War Against Indiscipline as well, we can double our effort.
Such as rape, bribery, corruption, truancy of the students, and so on.
The War Against Indiscipline Brigade is a nationwide volunteer organization with a 20,000 staff strength drawn from all walks of life. From Abuja, Dinah Ojua, TVN News.
A recent windstorm in Bayelsa State destroyed houses and farmlands, leaving behind agony and residents rendered homeless. In the special report, TVN correspondent Peace Israel narrates the ordeal faced by the affected communities.
Bayelsans continue to count their losses after a rainstorm that ripped roofs from houses and left untold hardship in its wake. Worship centers, economic trees, public infrastructure, and other social amenities were not left untouched as a strong wind made its way from the coast to the mainland. Agbede, Kalama, and Tay communities are, however, reeling from massive destruction caused by the ravaging wind.
This roof you see here was taken from the outside down here by the wind, and it destroys the whole house in this area.
And all my roofs in Kalama were blown off.
Every one of us are outside now. Imagine our kitchens, nowhere to cook.
This city right now as it stands is in ruins.
Property is damaged, so I won't be assistance of the government.
Representative of the area in the State of House of Assembly, Godwin Wurukumo, enjoined stakeholders, especially oil companies operating in the area, to come to the aid of the victims.
We call on the government to take immediate action, the Red Cross to come in immediately with drugs, food items, and relief materials so that they can cushion the effect of this disaster.
The representative insisted that efforts must be made to rehabilitate those affected by the natural disaster. Israel, TVN News.
When we return from the break, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission introduces new tariff regime. As consumers grapple with high electricity bills across the state, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission introduced a new policy that may worsen their plight. The latest regulation, which came into effect on March 8, 2018, and will be enforced by the Commission from April 3, 2018, is aimed at providing standard rules to encourage the development of independent and competitive meter services, eliminate estimated billing practices, attract private investment to the provision of metering services in NESE, and close the metering gap through accelerated meter rollout to enhance revenue in NES. According to the NES Commissioner, Legal Licensing and Compliance, Dafe Akpaneye, prepared meters will soon flood the market with the licensing of 87 meter asset providers, MAPs. Akpaneye, who spoke with newsmen in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, said MAPs will be independent providers who will be approved by NES but contracted by the DISCOs to bridge the metering gap. Meanwhile, the Energy Commission of Nigeria, ECN, has predicted a growth of up to 100,000 megawatt electricity generation in the country by 2030. And to the foreign news, authorities responded to a shooting at Great Mills High School in Maryland Tuesday morning. The situation, according to authorities, have been brought under control as the school was put on lockdown to allow for evacuation of students to a muster point. Details about casualty figures are yet unclear, as the spokesman for the Federal Bureau of Investigation at FBI says that agents are on the scene of the incident. Police are also said to be going through classrooms in a search and find approach to containing the crisis. Moving on to sports, Lyon could be banned from all European competition after UEFA on Monday charged the French club over incidents at last week's Europa League match against CSKA Moscow. UEFA said the charges center on racist behavior and crowd disturbances. The club already have suspended 2-year ban hanging over them from incidents at the previous Europa League game with Turkish side Besiktas in April 2017. Last Thursday's trouble started outside the Park Hall, which will host the Europa League final in May, before the last 16-second leg against CSKA. Police said that at least 8 officers were hurt as 100 to 150 hooded fans attacked an anti-terrorist unit. Problems continued inside the stadium, and UEFA's Control Ethics and Disciplinary Body has charged Lyon over the throwing of objects and the setting off of fireworks, crowd disturbances, racist behavior, and blocking stairways. Sitting rules in women's tennis are a kind of punishment for players such as Serena Williams after maternity leave and should be changed, says the tournament director of the Miami Open. James Blake, a former world number 4, was speaking after Williams, 36, was drawn against Naomi Osaka in the opening round of this week's event. She's unseeded after taking 13 months off to have her first child. It makes sense to protect someone who goes on maternity leave, said Blake. The rule should help her get the benefit of an easier draw and a better path. To end the news, the headlines again. Arewa Youth Forum asks President Buhari to resign. Navy intercept truckload of smuggled rice in Akwa Ibom. War against indiscipline brigade inaugurated. Before we go, I leave you with these thoughts. Stay away from a man who expects others to lead him. I am Cynthia Ago. Thanks for watching. Do have yourself a wonderful night.